Look, let's just be real for a second. Most of us are operating under this incredibly naive, almost comforting assumption when it comes to our diet. You probably think that for a fruit to be valuable, for it to be something you'd actually want to put in your body, it has to be sweet, right? Like it needs to be fleshy, look pretty on a plate, and basically taste like a natural dessert. Well, here's your reality check. In some of the absolute healthiest places on planet Earth, the most respected, highly prized plant in the garden is one that most people, and honestly probably you, can't even stand to taste. So today's explainer is diving into a fruit so intensely bitter, it's literally named after the concept of struggle. We're going to look at the sugar destroyer, this biological anomaly that's actually keeping the longest living people on the planet thriving.
So let me ask you a direct question, and I really want you to confront your stubborn sugar addiction for just a second here. If you knew, for an absolute biological fact, that a fruit could help you live to be 100 years old, but it tasted like a handful of old pennies mixed with bitter grass, would you eat it every single day? I mean, let's be honest, most people wouldn't. We are just so incredibly conditioned to expect our food to coddle us. We want the whole shebang sugar-coated. But as we're about to see, nature really doesn't care about your sweet tooth. Nature deals in survival, and sometimes the best medicine requires you to put up a bit of a fight.
Just look at the sheer visual contrast we're dealing with here. It's actually a perfect reflection of what humans have done to our food over the centuries. You've got your modern cucumbers, your winter melons, bananas. We selectively bred all of them. We essentially engineered them to be smooth, fleshy, perfectly pretty, and just packed with sugar. And then you have the bitter melon. I mean, it looks like a cucumber that literally fell from outer space. It completely refused to conform to our aesthetic desires. Its skin isn't smooth at all. It's covered in these weird, warty bumps and super aggressive ridges. It kept this alien look for centuries, and there's a brilliant evolutionary reason for it. That bizarre appearance, it's a biological warning sign.
See, the bitter melon belongs to the Cucurbitaceae family, which is the exact same family as those sweet melons and cucumbers we were just talking about. But while the rest of its family evolved to be sweet specifically to attract animals to eat them and spread their seeds, bitter melon took the exact opposite path. It decided to be the garden gatekeeper. It deployed bitterness as a literal biological weapon. It's essentially screaming to the world, hey, I am not a snack, I am a medicine. It evolved in such a way that only the creatures who actually needed its medicinal properties would ever dare to take a bite.
Okay, so what is this profound medicine it's guarding so fiercely? Let's break down the science, and don't worry, I'll keep it simple enough for anyone to grasp. The biological secret hiding behind that warty exterior is called Polypeptide P. And guys, this is a biological glitch of the highest order. As far as human science can tell, this specific plant-based compound actually mimics the behavior of human insulin inside your body. It is a natural sugar destroyer. It doesn't just, arbitrarily block sugar. It contains phytonutrients that actively push glucose out of your bloodstream into your cells, your liver, and your muscles, which is where it actually belongs. When you eat this stuff, it actively helps manage and regulate your blood sugar levels. It acts as a biological shield against all the modern dietary disasters we constantly inflict upon ourselves. It's a highly specialized survival tool, kind of like how aloe vera uses its slime to heal skin damage. This thing fixes the systemic sugar overload inside your body.
If you want to see this biological shield in action, all you have to do is look at Okinawa, Japan. This place is a famous blue zone, home to some of the longest-living, healthiest people in the entire world. And you know what the heartbeat of their diet is? This exact fruit. They call it Goya. While the rest of the developed world has been desperately chasing sugar, literally bathing our food in cinnamon and high-fructose corn syrup, the Okinawans have been eating Goya every single day. They use it as an energy bank for longevity. They figured out generations ago that the absolute most intense botanical defenses usually hide the greatest biological value.
And the Okinawans aren't the only ones who get this. In Vietnam, the name for bitter melon is Cua, and that translates literally to passing through bitterness or passing through struggle. Notice the profound cultural difference there. They don't try to pretend it's candy. They don't try to mask what it actually is. They embrace the act of eating it as a necessary challenge. It's a vital struggle required to maintain human health. It carries a really heavy cultural legacy. Think about how indigenous cultures have to carefully process toxic cassava to remove cyanide before it's safe to eat. The struggle is the entire point. The struggle brings the reward.
So how exactly did this alien cucumber manage to conquer the globe? Well, it didn't just pop up everywhere all at once. It was likely first domesticated in either India or East Africa. From there, it had this very slow, deliberate spread across all of Asia, and eventually found its way over to the Caribbean. But what's really crucial to understand here is the manner of its travel. Consider something like okra, right? A plant that arrived in the Americas through the horrific trauma of the Middle Passage. Bitter melon's journey was totally different. It moved quietly, it was a peaceful traveler, traded and meticulously passed along through traditional global medicine networks. It spread simply because healers knew exactly what it was capable of.
For literal centuries, ancient Indian and Chinese healers made bitter melon a foundational tool in their medical arsenals. They were using it to balance the body and treat ailments long before anyone even knew what blood sugar was, way before modern science labs finally caught up and isolated polypeptide P. These ancient healers didn't need a microscope. They didn't need a double-blind, peer-reviewed study to tell them it worked. It's a massive testament to ancestral wisdom. It's very much like how ancient healers utilized the resurrection plant to visually demonstrate the concept of being reborn. They understood the outcome deeply, even if they didn't have our modern vocabulary for the underlying mechanism.
Now, beyond its medical properties, bitter melon actually has an incredible resume as an agricultural powerhouse. This is the ultimate struggle crop. We're not talking about some genetically modified, fragile luxury fruit like a golden kiwi that needs strict climate control and massive corporate patents. Bitter melon thrives exactly where delicate, heavily bred plants fail and die. It requires almost nothing from the farmer. It definitely doesn't need to be pampered. Honestly, it just needs a rudimentary fence to climb on. It is a true biological survival masterpiece. Similar to the hardy lentils grown in the super-arid climates of Ethiopia, bitter melon is perfectly designed to feed and heal people in the absolute toughest environments on Earth.
All right, but if you are actually going to eat it, you really have to know how to prepare it, because as we've established, it is aggressively bitter. Let's walk through the culinary camouflage required here. Because it shares that 96% water content with the winter melon we mentioned earlier, it does have the potential to absorb the flavors of whatever it's cooked with. But honestly, the bitterness never completely vanishes. To tame it, you have to practically wage war on it in the kitchen. You slice it thin, you apply heavy salt to draw out the intensely bitter juices, and then you blast it with very high heat in a wok. It is a high-stakes industrial grind just to turn this thing into an edible side dish. It's a whole lot like the process of soaking aloe vera in cold water just to remove the bitter aloin before you can even use it. And that brings us to the ultimate paradox of this entire explainer. We, as in modern, civilized, supposedly advanced humans, took one of the most powerful, biologically active medicines in nature, and we just labeled it as bad. We completely rejected it simply because it wasn't coated in sugar. We are literally standing right next to a biological sugar destroyer, a plant that has been quietly fueling centenarians and acting as a pharmacy for thousands of years, and yet the vast majority of us wouldn't even dare to touch it. We let our incredibly spoiled modern palates completely blind us to ancient medicine.
So here's what you really need to take away from this explainer today. If you want to stop consuming fake, sugar-coated food history and actually start understanding real, functional biology, you have to look past the surface. You have to be willing to embrace a little bit of the struggle. Because the fact that a fruit that looks exactly like a warty alien cucumber and tastes like absolute struggle is actually the profound biological secret to living a longer, healthier life, now that's absolutely wild.